What's up, everyone, and welcome to another Bitcoin market update. In these videos, you will learn how to use technical analysis to predict future price movements in Bitcoin. Let's start off with the weekly time frame here and get a sense for what we're dealing with on the high time frames. Now, whenever I'm doing my technical analysis, I always want to think about what are the high time frames telling me before I make a short-term decision, before I make a trade on a lower-term time frame. So on the high time frame here on the weekly, we have a long lower wick of people buying the dip right here, and then we have this push up last week, and then this week we have an inside bar so far. So we'll see if this week we end up forming an inside bar, or if we end up breaking above this previous week's high up here at about 60,445. We have 2 days and 9 hours left to do that. If we do not, and we end up going down, the support level that we've been talking about on the daily time frame here is this gray zone. We bounced off of that level perfectly so far. The entry point was right here, and we have subsequently went up about 5.45% so far. So a good trade thus far. I am anticipating that this trade is going to go higher. That is what these marks are for right here. So the overall risk to reward for this trade, when I put my stop loss below here, is up to this target, which is the target if this is an inverse head and shoulders pattern right here that plays out. That would be right around 69.8 or 69.9. The target for the weekly pivot level, if we look at the weekly time frame here, this is right up here at about 63.1. That's our main resistance level there on the high time frames once we get above this key high. So we are potentially forming this right shoulder on the inverse head and shoulders pattern right here, and we have the daily pivot below just in case we go down again. But since we had this really, in my opinion, very bullish inside bar candle yesterday, and we broke that bullish candle today to the upside, continued upside is likely in my opinion. Let's go to the 12-hour time frame, see what we're dealing with here. On the 12-hour time frame, we have basically negated this level right here that we talked about potentially being support right here, pushed through it, potentially being resistance, and it pushed through it. So far, this level has not held very well in terms of like a tradable level. Luckily, I haven't traded this level. If you were to make a short entry on the bottom of this, once we closed both these candles below, you still could have had a profitable trade right here with a little bit of push down in price before we pushed up, but it wouldn't have been very significant. The key levels that I'm currently watching right now, if you look at the 8-hour time frame, it's this white candle right here, and we wicked above this, but it's still a valid resistance level. And the reason for that is because when we came down right here, when you're reading price, you're looking for the trend like we always talk about, and the trend right here is a bear trend. We have a high, low, lower high, and then lower low. And so this candle, the white candle where people were buying before the push down, should be where people sell on a rise in price as well if we get back to that price. And that's kind of what we're seeing right here is, longer upper wick right here of people selling, and then a doji candle right here. So I would expect some sort of short-term drawdown in 15 minutes if this candle ends up closing like this. But if we look at the 6-hour time frame, we have a valid support level right here, this black candle, that should buoy price if we end up going down. This is from about 57,388 to 56,371 at the bottom of it. And the reason we know this is a support level is because of the trend, once again. So this is where we have a bull trend. So we have our low, high, higher low, signifying the selling pressure is waning because we weren't able to go below the previous low on this low, and then a higher high right here with candle closes above this high. So that means right here where people were selling, if the price comes back into this level, this is where people will end up buying some of their Bitcoin back, most likely. So that is what the support level that I would be looking to add to my position. And the target, for that is going to be that 63K level on the weekly time frame, which is up here. 63K. Roughly, that's where the ultimate target would be. So we'll see what we get in the next coming hours here on the 4-hour time frame. Just higher lows and higher highs since we went into our level. We talked about this in the video yesterday, but when you see these several long lower wicks on the 4-hour time frame in a row, it usually signifies good chances that this is going to go up from that area, because there's a lot of people buying down here, and that's evident by the long lower wicks that are showing you, yes, the price traded down, to these levels, but then it closed back above. Went down, closed back above. Traded down, closed back above. And you can see the gray level held perfectly with all of these wicks going into this level. And then since that point, going up, like we said, about 5.6%. Same thing right here. Long lower wicks, and then we go up. And so the wicks can be very informative for you as a trader. And I encourage you to look at those when you're analyzing price to see what are the wicks telling me. Because if we look at the wicks on this 8-hour candle right here, the wicks are telling us we should have a short-term drawdown in price. Because the price traded up right here, up to about 58,977, but then it's probably going to close back down here. And if it does, that's bearish, because the price went up, there's people buying, but then the sellers sold a bunch and pushed it back down here where it closed. So the close is what you care about, and if you're looking at the wicks are a pretty good indication of what the buying and selling pressure looked like for that time period. So that's all we got for this one. Keep an eye on this 6-hour level right here. If you're looking at things on the 4-hour time frame, because everyone has the 4-hour time frame, it's this black candle right here from yesterday. That's the main support level on the way down, and then the main resistance level on the way up. Like I said, this yellow level right here, which is on the 8-hour time frame. This is the most immediate resistance level for us, and that is going from about 58,574 down to about 57,686. And if we end up going above that and we start trading up above this yellow zone, we'll have a pretty good chance of going through this 4-hour level, which is this white candle from back here that has held for, you can see if we just draw the box roughly where it is, you can see we've tested this level again right here. We've tested this level several times. This level is not going to keep holding forever. Eventually it's going to break, and so this is what I'm keeping an eye on. Once we go above this level and close 2 4-hour candles above it, a retest of that zone is going to be a very good long entry, in my opinion. So that is where I will also look to add to my long if we get up there. And yeah, that's all I got for this one, guys. If you like the video, give it a like and subscribe for future educational content around cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And until next time, onward and upward.